What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. At this point here, we look at the situation with LeBron James. We can definitely see the unhappiness. We can definitely see the disdain. We can definitely see that LeBron is not mentally where he wants to be or where he feel like he should be with the team of the Lakers, simply because they're not playing the way they should or playing up to expectation, and they're not living up to the expectation of that championship caliber team that everybody put them in before the season started. And now when you look at the situation, it's really becoming one thing it's going from one extreme to the next. Now it's more, you hear reports about LeBron not being happy, his camp, Clutch Sports not being happy with the front office of the Lakers in regards to Rob Pelinka. And there's reports out there about Rob Pelinka. They're pushing for Rob Pelinka to get removed from his position, to get somebody else in there. There's been reports about Frankie V, being fired, the coach of the Lakers. There's been reports about Russell Westbrook being traded, of course, which never went through because of Rob Pelinka and them not willing to pull the trigger on certain players that they felt that could have been traded for. And LeBron definitely wanted to see another player in a Lakers jersey besides Russell Westbrook in regards to the reports that's being put out. And you have all these different things being put out by the Lakers, but all this doesn't amount to winning. All this amounts to them being a losing organization, and this is the reason why they continuously find themselves in a peculiar situation of having a team that looks like they're good enough to win but not able to implement that on the floor. And when you look at that in its entirety, it just takes a lot out of a player like LeBron, because when you think about his age, even though he's playing really, really well, his age is still a factor. The years and the miles he's put on his body is still a factor. And now it's to the point where I'm not even sure LeBron James is even looking at this team as a championship contender. And it's almost to the point I'm starting to think LeBron is starting to look at it like, well, as long as Rob Pelinka's in the office, the head guy, the Lakers are not going anywhere, because now that Russell Westbrook has become a part of the team, he's the fall guy, and that's just what he is. And I'll give it, he's not played up to the level of expectation that most think that he can. But at the same time, we have to give him credit that, he is, he has been a great player, and he's been a great player in the league a long time. He's just not panning out with the Lakers, and it's just not panning out the way LeBron hoped. The only problem is, the way I look at it, LeBron wanted Russell Westbrook. And, I look at LeBron as basically the GM of the team more than Rob Pelinka or anybody else in the front office. And you want to take a chance on a player like this, and now you regret it because you're not winning, and you regret it because of the fact that you can't help make this team better. So now the blame is just being passed around to everybody else in the Lakers organization. And now, you look at Anthony Davis, he's just more injury prone than he's ever been. And LeBron really likes Anthony Davis, but at the same time, liking somebody and winning championships are two different things. And I don't know if the Lakers are going to do anything with Anthony Davis in the offseason in regards to maybe, getting rid of him in the offseason or trading for him or something like that. But at this point, I'm not even sure if it really matters, because, you hear LeBron talking more and more about, life is, it's not about the money. I just want to go play with my son once he gets drafted. And I feel like he's definitely putting in some work in regards to getting his son drafted a lot sooner than later. And when you look at that, I feel like LeBron's thoughts and his thought process is just somewhere else. It's just not with the Lakers. And I feel like, when your mind is not in it 100%, you're not going to help your team get over the hump and perform at the level he probably could, even though he's performing at a really high level right now. But it's just not equating to winning, so it really doesn't matter. They'll win a game or two here and there, but unless they can string together a 5 to 8 game winning streak or something like that, then the Lakers might be on to something. But until they be able to do that, with consistency or anything, the Lakers are pretty much just are who they are. A team that's dead in the water, and a team that's waiting for the play-in tournament to see who their opponent will be. And if they happen to get past that opponent, they'll probably get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs once again, just as last year they did against the Phoenix Suns. So when you look at the whole situation, it's like, where's where's LeBron's head at? You know what I'm saying? Like, he put this operation together. He's the guy. You wanted Russell Westbrook. You could have got Buddy Hield. You chose to get Russell Westbrook. And now LeBron is just really fed up with the whole situation. But at the same time, you was the one who orchestrated the situation. And that's sometimes how it goes. You know, players don't want to, take back anything. They want to, start up an operation like the way LeBron did. And now he's just, regretting the fact that it's turned out the way it did. And, trading Russell Westbrook, I really didn't think that was going to be an ideal situation. Too much money on his contract. And there's really nobody out there really of his same value. I mean, John Wall, they could have traded for him. And that's who I think that, LeBron James and his camp said they wanted to have in exchange for. But really, it almost could be a blessing in disguise, because John Wall really isn't much better, or he's not even a better player than Russell Westbrook. Yeah, maybe he can turn the ball over a little bit less, but he still doesn't have high basketball IQ. And with him not having high basketball IQ, he's going to make mistakes at times where you don't need him to, just as he did in his prime when he was with the Washington Wizards. I mean, I definitely think that LeBron helped make players better, but you have to understand, trying to make a player better who's been in the league 10 plus years is really not ideal, because they've been set in their ways so long. For them to learn how you want them to play is just very, very, being impractical. It's probably not going to happen. And see, that's the same problem he's having with Russell Westbrook. So it's like, really, if you exchange Russell Westbrook for John Wall, you'd be taking the same problem almost, or a problem that really wouldn't make you get better as a team. Because I said their biggest issue is defense. I mean, and now without Anthony Davis for a month or two, however long he's going to be out, their defense is even more suspect now, because you have less big bodies in the paint to at least distract some players from, possibly getting layups and things like that. But in all essence, well, it's not like Anthony Davis is making life much easier for them anyway, because they still had no defense with him on the floor. So it's just really, really a bad situation. And now that you hear LeBron James officially coming out saying things like, he wants to play with Bronny wherever he goes, that 1 year doesn't matter. It's almost like his sights are not even set being in a Lakers jersey and representing it the right way. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like that's going to rub a lot of Lakers Nation the wrong way. I feel like a lot of fans really might look at him from afar now, because it's like, okay, you're talking about futuristic things with your son who hasn't even entered the league yet. And a lot of people are not even sure how good of a player he's gonna be to even enter the league. I mean, of course, LeBron could pull some strings for him to get in, but I mean, it's still no telling. You still got to wait to see when that happens. And he might be eligible by next year or the year after. So LeBron's going to have to try to hold up until then. So, I mean, and that's if he can, because he's having knee injuries, ankle injuries, and, he's out there playing, but at the same time, he's running out of gas while he's doing it. So, try for him to be talking about those type of futuristic things. I mean, I know it's good to talk about, good to hear, and it'd be a good situation if he's able to do that. But I feel like he should focus more on the now of what he can do, and rather be talking about, what the Lakers can do to better themselves after the All-Star break and become a way better team than what they are constructed now. Because the way they play from night to night, it's Jekyll and Hyde basketball. It's not good enough. It's not consistent enough, and it's not going to win you a championship. So when you hear these reports coming out about LeBron being unhappy, wanting to play with his son, it's not about the money. I'm going home to have a glass of wine and forget about tonight and, focus on tomorrow, and hopefully things will be different, and the trade deadline and all this stuff and the buyout. It's just so much surrounding the Lakers right now. They can't be a winning organization. They just can't be. Not unless they find a way to put all this to the side and let everybody play with more of a flow, and allow Anthony Davis to come back and get him into the offense and get the play out of him that they need. Or should I say, he play like the player he's supposed to be, and allow Russell Westbrook to run with the second unit when he comes back, when Anthony Davis returns, and they really piece it together. That's the only thing they should be thinking about as a team. And that's the only thing I feel like LeBron James should be implementing or talking about, because right now it's all about the Lakers trying to make that push. And I just don't hear the the fight, the intensity. I don't hear the champion mentality in LeBron anymore. I just feel like I hear him kind of like settling for things the way they are and kind of just going with the flow. And that's just not the way LeBron has always been. He's always been one to push back and been one to, put his team on his back as much as he can and get them over the hump. Now, I understand that he's a lot older and I understand he can't do those things, but it's almost like when you hear LeBron now, it's almost as if he's given up on the Lakers just as an organization. And like I said, maybe they need to make a change at Rob Pelinka and get Magic Johnson back in there. Because I personally believe if they would have had Magic Johnson there still without Rob Pelinka and those people, I think the Lakers would be so much better. Because Magic Johnson was a player. He was a great player at that. So he knows what type of talent to get, and he knows what to look for and what can help the Lakers be much better. He's just a basketball guru. He's a basketball mind. He is a great player, was a great player for a reason. He's looked at and revered the way he is still today for a reason. So it's just sometimes having the wrong staff can definitely, discount or discredit a team's, abilities to be much better. Just by having one or two trades or one or two differences on the roster can make all the world difference. I mean, me personally, if you ask me, I personally believe, if Magic Johnson was in full control of everything, I personally believe they might have had a better chance at getting Kawhi Leonard back when, Kawhi was leaving Toronto. I really do, what I'm saying? But who knows? That's speculation. That's, here nor there at this point. But I just feel like Magic is that powerful where he can get the right pieces there and he can talk to people in a way to get them to understand things a lot better and make things work. I feel like that's just one good thing he's always been good at, making things work. I mean, he did that on the court. He did it off the court. It's just the way he is. So, I feel like LeBron's team is definitely over with Rob Pelinka and the rest of them. So we'll have to see how it goes going forward. But I feel like LeBron is mentally checked out for the Lakers in a lot of ways. I feel like he's going to go through the season, give it all he's got. But in his mind, he just feels like this team can't go nowhere with Russ and himself and Anthony Davis getting hurt a lot. It's just, too much for him to bear. So I feel like he's just kind of mentally checked out and just kind of looking for futuristic things to kind of keep himself sane and keep himself, afloat, as while he's playing and keep everything together. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.